Gang of Youths, Angel in Real Time album review. Let's chat about it. Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here to chat about this latest from Gang of Youth. These guys are an Australian indie pop band, and a lot of people love these guys. And trust me, I get it. They're very big blend of indie pop, and pop rock is, certainly got a lot going for it. I mean, time after time, if there's one thing that I've hoped that you all have realized about me from this channel over the years, is I like my music big. I like my metal epic. I like my rock music louder and larger than life. And Gang of Youth's brand of indie pop is certainly just that. I'd even consider it like stadium indie pop, arena indie pop, if you will. There's certainly a lot to like about these guys. That being said, their music has always been sort of middle of the road for me. Their debut album, The Positions, had its moments, like the title track. I thought that was really good. But so much of this album was incredibly bloated for a debut, and it just didn't really move me in any way. Now, when they returned into Go Farther Into Lightness, honestly, a lot of people looked at this album as one of the year's best, and I will say this, it is a lot better of an album. It is eons better than their debut. It's performed better. It's wrote better. It is better performed. It's better produced even. I mean, is it a little overblown? I mean, it's an hour and 17 minutes. What do you think? Yeah, it's a little overblown. But compared to their debut, I was so much more interested in Gang of Youths this time around, which leads me to this new one, Angel in Real Time, which, I was listening to the singles leading up to this album. The singles alone were like half an hour long. I knew I was going to be faced with another very long, very, sort of progressive pop album. And that wasn't that bad leading up to this album, because honestly, I thought a lot of the singles were some of the best tracks they've wrote. Let's chat about this thing. As far as an intro goes, You and Everything is absolutely gorgeous. One of the most heartfelt and tender tracks that they have ever wrote, by far. I mean, for anybody who's ever thought that their albums are a little overblown, a little passionless, give this track a shot. It is gorgeous. I mean, the gorgeous strings, the passionate, tender vocals, the great production. I could just eat this up for days. Then we get, of course, the lush instrumental and the genuinely passion-filled lyrics. My God, this is awesome. And not only that, but most importantly, it's genuinely progressive. Then we have the Angel of 8th Avenue. Love this track as well. I love how driven it is. I love the upbeat pace of it. I love the acoustic strumming. This track just has a great spirit to it. And also just happens to have some of my favorite vocals. They're a little bit deeper on this track, but I actually like that compared to some of the airier tracks that we get here. It's just so passion-filled. I mean, I really feel this. This is a great single. It made me want to listen to the rest of this album. Returner is one that had to grow on me a little bit. And it has the off-kilter pacing on this track at first kind of threw me off. It was, I don't know, just not really interesting. But it actually does a really good job of setting itself aside from the rest of this album. I love, the whistling synths that we get here. Once again, the fiery lyrics that we get. And the passion, once again, is there. I mean, on this album, for a good hunk of it, I feel like Gang of Youths are filling these ridiculous-sized shoes that they've made for themselves. Not only that, but I love the group vocals on this track. For a good hunk of this album, yeah, I get it. Unison is also one of the best tracks here. Like, when a truly progressive pop tune starts quiet and kind of builds itself around you, it's pretty mesmerizing, and that's what we get here. This is a true blue, larger-than-life pop tune, and that is great to be a part of. Not only that, but once again, there's some genuine progression here. There are ups, there are downs, there are different segments. It's really likable. Plus, there's some genuinely shocking twists, turns, and all sort of production elements that I wasn't expecting. Tend the Garden, on the other hand, takes a turn for the psychedelic. And you know what? It's hard to follow this track. There are seemingly infinite layers between the vocals and the instrumental. There's so much going on. It has very passion-filled, quiet moments, but it also has these emotional, soaring highs as well. It is just really warm, really likable, and easy to take in. It also has a ton of replay value. I feel like I could listen to a lot of these songs again and find something I didn't hear before. And also, The Kingdom is Within You. Honestly, this is track of the album status. This is an unbelievable track. It's passionate, it's deep, it is so freaking heartfelt. Not only that, yeah, it's super catchy. It just really fits the bill all around. But my friends, this is a Gang of Youths album. It is once again over an hour long, and yeah, once again, we are dealt with some moments that are a little overblown, a little full of themselves, a little much. Like I hear In the Wake of Your Leaving, all I can say is no. It is a little bit too fluffy, a little bit too bright for me, and I've tried with this track. I've tried a lot. The passion, yeah, it's certainly there, but it is just so overblown. Like all the criticisms that this band has received for that, they are certainly here and on display. It ends up being just cheesy and blowing right by without really impacting me at all. I mean, I genuinely thought I was going to end up loving this album because of how much good material it is and how well received I was to so much of the material here. Then I hear Spirit Boy. Good God. Okay, I feel like I've been like a stickler for the softer tracks on albums lately, and I feel kind of bad about that. But then I hear this, and I kind of understand why. This is so boring. Instrumentally, yes, things do pick up a little bit for the chorus, and I salute that. But so much of this track is so one note, and it does not progress at all. And while it's not the longest track here, let me tell you, it feels like it. Brothers is not much better. I feel like when things get a little bit more stripped down, the flaws of the band just start pouring in. I mean, honest to God, this is one of the tracks that I've heard this year. I should say one of the biggest tracks this year that I've just not been barely able to stay awake during. This is putting me to sleep. I want to like this album, and tracks like Forbearance really makes me want to rethink everything. I mean, I hear this and I think, oh, I must have missed something on those tracks that I don't like. This is beautiful. This is warm. It is inviting. It is so full of love and passion. I mean, lyrically, this is a major highlight. It almost brings a tear to my eye. It is that good. And the man himself is awesome. It is super driven. I love this upbeat riff. In a weird way, this kind of reminds me of what I enjoyed about Broken Social Scene back in the day. The strings are classy. The production is great. This chorus is huge. Trust me, there's a lot going for this album, and then I hear Hand of God and I want to take it all away. This is so drawn out. Once again, this is so boring, so one note. There's such a steep cutoff with the music of Gang of Youths. Things go great for so long, and then when things get bad, out of nowhere, they get unbearable. And listen, I can go for a nice spiritual ballad. I actually think they could be really classy, but not this. And Goal of the Century is really hard because I hear the strings. I hear how beautiful this track comes off at points, because trust me, it does. It's absolutely as passionate as some of the earlier tracks here. I love how colorful it gets too. But it's okay. It's certainly not the finale that I wanted to hear on this album. And honestly, things get so convoluted by the end of it, it just ends up coming off a little much. This album is really, really, really hard for me to rate or even to sift through at points. I mean, the material of here that is good is more than ever from Gang of Youths. I am shocked at how much of this album I truly, truly, truly love. I've not been able to say that with them so far. When this album is good, it is not just good. It is awesome. It's some of the most progressive and heartfelt pop music I've heard all year. But my God, the cutoff, the drop-off in quality is wild. When there is bad material on this album, I can't sit through it. I can barely get through some of these tracks. It makes things really, really hard, because I do want to love this album. But yes, the good outweighs the bad, but the bad is so bad that I am kind of forced to give this a very, very light 7. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.